Got a big old Cardinal in here. Get some roof damage there. I'll give you an idea of what we got going on with this one. Well, that's real soft. Boing, boing. Actually, push your finger through it. There's nothing under there. It's all rotted up underneath there. So what they want you to do is keep going around and caulking all this. And this is probably where some of this damage came from, right from here. You can see all those little hair cracks in there. That's they want you to keep dolling up. Those are all little leaks right in there. So that's what they want you to do, is keep putting that on there. We got our turn bars on the top over here, and this probably contributed to some of the fail. Got a hole right here. Yeah, you can cut it. Go ahead, I didn't have a knife on me. Look at there. That's all rotted in there. We'll show you that when we tear it all apart. It's got a big old rot spot. Look how close this air conditioner sits down. That's why we put them up on curbs. There's all sorts of stuff and junk underneath there. Well, that will impede the proper drainage for the air conditioner. Now it'll still want to drain, and what'll happen is it'll build up and it'll go right back into your air duct, and then it'll start getting into the roof system. There's a little fracture on that side, see right there? That's what they want you to do. They want you to go around and put more on. You can tell someone's already done it. Right here, see the difference? So, you know, they keep telling you to put more on, more on. And the only ones that put more on is a moron. There's something wrong with that system. Imagine going to buy tires from a reputable company, Firestone or Goodyear or whoever. And they say, hey, by the way, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, every few months, why don't you get up there and get out there and fill those tires up because they're going to go flat. You'd be like, I'm not going to buy those tires, right? No. Here's another problem right there. So we're going to bring the roofing all the way over anyways. But I don't like these at all. These are always problematic, you can see. So when this antenna comes up, it just starts stressing this plate out. It doesn't matter, you can have the slightest breeze, these things are going to rack around, compromise the seal. And then also it's hard to seal these antennas, you know. They just don't want to seal 100% properly. So get all that, get a hole right here. We don't know if anything's got down inside there at all. Another one right here. So we'll go around this other side here. Got some water damage. We're going to end up replacing that sheet anyways, it looks like. Look at the size of that gap in there. That's a good sized gap. That's a real good sized gap. Get all that fraction on there. You can tell somebody's already tried to relayer this. You know. There's roofing up underneath there. That's what that is. So this is what we got. Let me scoot around you there. Trying to give you an overview of what we got going on. It sounds pretty good. Just I don't like this. You can see that right there. That's failure. See it? So, some of that will run down and cause delamination on the side if the water gets on the outside of that portion. So, but that's about where we're at. We're going to bring the roof over, so this turn bar isn't going to be up here. We're going to bring the roofing all the way over here. That'll wrap in the shoulder, and we'll tuck it behind this termination bar. I think the RV industry calls it metal edge cap banding and stuff, but commercially it's known as termination bar. So, but that's what we're trying to do. Get the roof off, and then we'll give you more updates as we go along. That's our Cardinal so far. We will be back. with more here at RV Roof Install. There's plenty of videos after you get through watching this one. Go to our YouTube channel, and unless you're on it now, you can watch all those videos. You can see some of the stuff that we find, the problems that we find, and how we fix them so you don't have these issues again. So we're going to put a 20-year roof system on this. We'll have curbs on it, and once we get the curbs on there, if this is the first video you're watching, this is what it's going to look like. You can see how that's up a bit. See how the air conditioner is up a bit. Those are called curbs. All of those are going to get heat welded in. The same with the ladder over here, this ladder that I was showing you earlier. This is what we're going to do to it. We're going to end up putting these boots in here, and we pour it with this special sealer, so it's done. It'll never leak. You can rack those all around. We're going to put these curbs up on here. We'll put some flashing detail in the front of the air conditioner, so we don't have water trying to travel around the back and get up underneath that way. The sides always have room, but the front doesn't. You can see how much room is in the back. We also put these special stands right there on the back as well. So this is another one right here. So this one, here's a curb right here. It's all heat welded. It's all heat welded in there. There's not going to be any caulking on here. 3 inches of heat weld all the way around. Be a heck of a water drop to get in there. Then we designed them with these flanges on here. There's your counter flashing. And the reason why we put this on here, you get caught in a heavy storm and you get that water just rushing across the roof and the wind is blowing. It's probably going to hit here, and you may have some wind even trying to push it up. It's going to catch on this flange, and it's going to roll out. It'll roll out. So the same way, we got the plumbing same way as we did the boots, very same way. And you see how we did this here. This is the solar panel we did. These were one of these stick down ones. We didn't want to stick it back down there. One, I want water to be able to move around and get out from underneath it. That's one. The other thing is it's very flimsy. If that failed, then you'd have to tear that up, and I didn't want to start having the customer try to tear it up and compromise the roof. So we made this metal frame around here, and it's sitting on a board, and we glued everything all together and bolted it and screwed it all together, and then we made these little stands for it. So then we zip tied everything together. He had this over here, and I'm just giving you a rundown. I'm going to do another video on this one here. I just haven't yet. So this one may be up before you watch the other one. The one you're watching now, this one's more likely be up. But I'm just giving you an idea what we do and how we do it. Because you'll be waiting for this video to finish, right? So this is what we got. So we'll be back with more, and I'll keep you updated. And then this one here, you can see how much of a drop off that has in the front, just like this one. So we may end up welding these together. When you start getting a piece of this membrane, this is a really strong membrane. When you try to get it to do the camber, which is this way, you try to get it to do that way and then try to follow that slope. It really doesn't like that. Sometimes you'll end up with these little bubbles, and you can chase them all around. They don't want to come out. So sometimes it's easier just to heat weld another piece. We did a heat weld on this one. If you haven't watched this video, watch it. But we heat welded all this together, and we showed how it heat welds and how it just actually literally becomes one piece. Because that's what this is, thermoplastic. So once you heat weld it together, that son of a gun, if you try to tear it apart, you'll rip the whole sheet apart. It's not coming apart. It is there. It's like welding 2 pieces of metal. So, but that's our Cardinal right there. And then also, if you probably haven't been to our shop, you can see we've got full scaffolding all the way around these. We can walk all around these from this side all the way down the other side. Folks want to come up here and see their coach, or they want to see how their roof is doing, then they can come up here and walk around. It's real comfortable. We got all these safety rails. We're not going to be the type that get step ladders and start working out for those. But we've got full scaffolding all around here. Like I said, all around this one. We got a full catwalk that runs all the way to the back. Probably could use a little cleaning. But this catwalk goes down. We got another one over here. And then we also got a set of stairs. So folks who want to come up, you just come up the set of stairs. Just like our second level. And this one will take you over to the other side. So you walk down, there's a step here, a step there, and you can see we got scaffolding all on that one as well. And we're trying to button up this one here. Just give you a little bit of an overview of our shop. Like I said, I'd like it to be a little tidier, but it is a workshop. So you can see all the trash from this coming off on this one. So, but we'll be back with our Cardinal right here. Alright, there's our Cardinal update. So we had all that rotted wood. We took that off. You can see all the staining under there. So it looks like they put this cardboard on here. So Wondering if they were trying to use that as a buffer of some sort. But we'll end up taking that off there. We won't need that. Trying to give you an idea of what we got going on. So this roof deck, it wasn't glued down either. So what happens is you can see these screws, and these things can waller out. You can see that one there. We're gonna end up gluing the roof deck back down. So what's good about the way we set this shop up, you can just walk right around the other side here. So everything here seems dry. Let me scoot around here. Had some more rot right here, so this decking was bad. So the insulation seems dry. I don't have any issues with it. I don't know if it was, it looks like a really thin piece of, maybe a little thin piece of insulation board. That isn't going to do anything anyways. So, and we'll check all this. We got some of these that we got to clean out, but all of this is dry. It's still all fluffy and good. So, like I said, we're going to redeck it. Now, what we're going to put on here is a radiant barrier, and it's going to have the foil on one side, and then it'll have the decking on the other. Then we'll redeck the whole thing with it. So, that's about where we are with this old Cardinal. But we'll be back once we start getting this thing cleared off and decked. But all we're going to see is when you peel this up is insulation like that. So we probably won't end up showing that. But we are going to glue it down, and we're going to fasten it back down the way it should be. It'll be a lot tighter. So, I wonder if there's any wires. Sometimes they run wires up through here. You didn't notice any wires through here at all?
No, we did not. No, sir.
Some of them they do. They'll run wires up, and I like to make sure those wires are protected so we don't have any issues with maybe wires being compromised. I've shown it on a few other videos where the wires come through and there's nothing there to protect the wire from like the metal or the bushing that they put in there. So, but there's none on this this coach. They're all inside in there. So, like I said, we'll be back with more on our Cardinal here after a bit. Here's our update on our Cardinal. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're gluing down new decking, and this is a radiant barrier sheathing. The other thing we did is we're using some awesome screws. Look at the size of the heads on those things. Boy, that has some holding power right there. That's why we do it. But also we've got, this is all glued back down. It wasn't glued before. When we showed you, it had the that cardboard, that thin little piece of insulation on there, and that wasn't nearly enough. It wasn't glued. Nothing was. So you want to glue this down, because when it racks, especially here, you can see how that looks like it's kind of pulled. That's because when these rack and shit, there's nothing holding it there. So what the glue does, it acts as a buffer to absorb it, so the screws don't work loose. So that's why we're gluing everything down. So you can see some of the adhesive right there coming out. But that's where we're at right now. I'll show you a piece of the other. This is the sheathing that we're using on the Cardinal here. And this is a radiant barrier. You can see the foil on there. And then there's the decking part up underneath here, see? So the purpose of this is to reflect UV light. It's going to help to reflect UV light. Ultimately, or optimally, shall I say, the best way this works is when there's a cavity underneath there, about a 3/4 inch cavity underneath there. It'll still work. That coupled with our roof system, it may not be 100% effective as tested because it doesn't have that cavity. You have the insulation under there, but it's still going to work, and that is what the owner wanted. So the only way we could create that cavity is we'd actually have to try to get that insulation to stay down 3/4 of an inch or so below that. So, but that's the sheathing. Take a look at our Cardinal. Okay, well, we showed you that we had all the roofing down, the decking. But I think when we, the last clip shows we maybe had a sheet or two on here. So we've got them down now. Screwed them down with these big old wafer head screws. So they are tight. They are tight. So now what we're doing is trying to get the shoulder back on. That's what we're doing right now. We've got our plumbing cut out. So we're getting all this back together here. That's where we're at so far. So the next step is to put our strips on here, our protective strips here as well. We'll put one coming down here where this transition is on these pieces to protect the main roofing, and then we'll get the roofing glued on. All right, Cardinal update. Okay, so we got the roof deck down. We got it all screwed in there. Everything's all screwed and glued. And now what we got going on over here, that's the roofing. We've got it just laid over and we got glue on it, so it's about ready to get rolled. Then we've got these, you can see the glue here. We prime all those, that's a primer that's on there. And these are our protective strips. And even though it looks like right there got a little gap, that'll get seated when we hit it with the roller. We'll push it all down nice and tight. So that's about us right here. Everything looking good. They say we protect the awnings as well. Keep all that debris and stuff off there. That's what we do. Even on the inside, it's all protected. But this will get laid back down here, and we'll keep it tight. That's our Cardinal so far. We'll be back with more at RV Roof Install. Right on the set. We're in production. Okay, we already got this other side rolled. We glued. We showed you that. We rolled it, and we obviously pushed it over there, and we rolled it down. So now what we're doing is gluing this side. We're gonna get her all glued up. And once we get that, we're gonna roll it as well, roll it over. And then we roll it down with a big roller. Big, heavy roller. That's where we're at so far with our Cardinal. We're coming along, we're coming along. Okay, we are headed up here. Walk up these cool stairs. Well, that's real comfortable. Better than a ladder. We walk across our little catwalk. Okay, quiet on the set. There's our Cardinal. So we're gonna get ready to roll her over. Start on the end. Pull it tight. Come on down here. Come on down here this way. There you go. Okay. So now what we do is hit it with the balance roller. Hit it with the balance roller. Then we're gonna hit it with the big one, and the way, I guess. Trying to do a show, man. Keep pushing. Hey. Here, just let that be. Let's get this here. Okay, we're back. So we got this rolled out. I shut the camera off because I had to help over here and I couldn't hold the camera. And what it was, see, I don't know if you can see the way this roof kind of goes this way, but it also goes down. So I had to hold up one side so we can get it. This isn't nearly as aggressive as the last couple we did. The other ones had a real sharp nose on them. But this one wasn't nearly as bad. So we were able to roll this one. On a couple of the other ones, if it's really shaped that hard and that aggressive and got enough camber, then sometimes you got to cut it and we do a heat weld right here. And I've done them on a couple other ones. But like I said, this one isn't nearly as bad. So now what we do is we're going to go over this with the big roller right there. And we're going to pack her all down, get it nice and tight. And then we'll come back here with this little skate that we got right here. I call it a skate. Looks like it's... And then we just kind of pull all the little bubbles out. We're going to pull it all out. We're going to pull everything over to the edge. That's how we're going to get it. So we'll get it all looking really nice. We'll show you what it looks like. Now the next thing that happened is we get all our plumbing, vents, we cut all of those. And once we get all those cut, maybe some WD-40 on that squeaky wheel. And once we get all those cut and our plumbing, then we obviously fasten them down. We heat weld them all in. So we'll be back I'm going to show you what else we got going on here just a little bit. Hey, back on our Cardinal. We're back. See all these waves? I don't know if you can see them in the camera. When you pull that down, you're going to get a wrinkle. See how we get that one there? So there's another one down. Pardon me. Right there. You put this one down, so you'll have a wrinkle there too. When it starts to set, see how it is? But I don't want to see it like that. So this is what we did. You can probably see how it's kind of shaping out there. We did this side. This is going to get cut. But what we did is we hemmed it over. And put a nice clean stitch on there. We did that one down here too. So now when it sits, it'll sit nice and flat. That'll come in by the time we put the turn bar on, obviously clean it. But that's what we're doing over there. That's what we're working on. So far what we've got is all the curves welded. All those curves welded down there. We got the boots right there for the ladder. We've got our skylight, those boots in. So what we do is once you give the curves down that we make, you can see the screws right there. We fasten it all down so it's mechanically fastened. And then we heat weld everything together. You can see how we've welded all this in. Again, it's all fastened down in there. We heat weld all those in. We've got an antenna going on right here. It's a wind guard. So we're going to end up putting the stands in there. We'll show you that when we get it done. But we just want to give you a little bit of an update. So the next thing to do is we'll find our elevation here where we need to be with our turn bar. And then we'll put that on. And once we get the turn bar on, obviously cut the roofing and so forth. We've still got air conditioners and vents and everything else to put on here. So that's where we are so far with our Cardinal. We'll be back with more. All right, back in our Cardinal. We are done. Got our nice brand down there. Got some cool red and blue. We got our brand on there. We got everything all double layered right here. All the terminations. Got our boots on there. Got our stands behind our air conditioner. Flashing in the front. Everything's all heat welded down. I think we already showed you that. So we are done. A shower, that's our plumbing vent. We got shower, that's a shower lens. We got our vent right here. You can see the flashing detail we got under there. So, and I'll show you up on the front of this. Here's another air conditioner. This is the way we do the, this is a wind guard. This is just a regular antenna. And we make these mounts. So this bolt goes all the way down. There's a piece in here. So that's how we bolt them. You can adjust them as need be. You may have to, once you get it all leveled up where you're at, then you may have to come up and just adjust it a little bit. But we've got that all heat welded in there. So that's done. So in the event you catch this with a tree branch, or if it fails, you just take these right here, take them out, put a new one on, you're done. So it'll only take a few minutes. You undo those 3 bolts. There's 1, 2, 3. Undo those 3 bolts. Undo the coax right there. And it's off the coach, and you can bring it, get it changed out. So get everything all set here. Which is good about having the scaffold the way we do. So right here, we'll try and clean that a little bit more. It's going to get dirty, but this bit right here, that's primer. We use a special primer that goes on here. So evidently the brush come over a little bit on it. But obviously you never see it from there, but we'll probably clean that up a little bit. Then we fix these welds. I already showed you that on the last clip there. So this air conditioner, the way we've got these curves set up, obviously all heat welded around. Got this flashing detail right here. You get caught in a heavy rainstorm, that water is going to try to drive up. You may have really high winds or something really trying to push that water. But now with the flashing detail we put up underneath there, it cannot get up underneath that side. You see, it'll be forced to come around. Well, obviously you got water coming down, so when it trickles around, it comes around this way, it's going to drop down below the flange and it'll roll right out. So that's the whole design of that. Same thing on this, except on this one, see, the reason why we're concerned more about the air conditioner than like these over here is because if you look, see how close the air conditioner mounts to the front of this curb? Really close. You can see the back's got plenty of room, the sides, they got plenty of room, but the front is kind of vulnerable, so that's why we put that flashing detail. So on this one here, you still have the same flashing detail on there, the water will come up and it'll roll out, but even water coming down will trickle down and get out. So you're not going to have an issue with that. Plus this is sealed, where this one just has that foam gasket. That's all they do with those. Not much we can do about it, but that's how the difference between the two. So it's the same thing on this curb here. As water is coming around, it's going to hit up on here, then it's going to roll out. Now all of this is heat welded in here, so there's obviously that's never going to leak. You never have to put caulking on here. You never have to put a coating on this. This is a 60 mil commercial grade TPO, so it's done. But the other thing we do, even though this is all heat welded, all in here, I want to make sure that this will never ever give you any issues at all. So I'm going to see if I can show you. Yep, you may be able to see right up on the side there. We put a bead of caulking up on there, and that's also primed. Everything is primed. If it's not primed, it won't stick. It'll seem like it will initially, but then after that, it's going to release. So then on the inspections, what we're looking for, we just want to make sure your caulking is sitting right the way it should. That's about all we're looking for when you come back. So if you ever get one of these, typically we like to see them come back 30 to 45 days, and that's really what we're looking for. So we'll take our finger, we'll rub right along here to make sure it's nice and tight. Now, this is the best caulking on the market. You can't get it. This is an adhesive caulk, so it's the best on the market. But you know, I'm still at the mercy of the product, and I want to make sure everything's done. And it's just smart, because now that it's fresh, it's rolling down the highway, it's racking, it's twisting. I want to make sure everything's seated the way you paid us to keep it watertight. So that's really why we like to see it come back. So we like to see it 30 to 45 days. So if you get here 30, but I try to give people a couple of week window. But if you say, hey, I'm going to check it myself, well, that's fine. That's what I want you to check. And leave everybody with some product in case they see something. They go, oh, there's just a little bit. Well, you can put it on yourself if you want to. Same thing with this air conditioner here. We get that front flashing on there, you see. And then we got our radio. And the way that radio is almost the same style as that. And then there's the wire comes up through it, and the base is screwed down, and then we seal around the top of that. We seal right around the top there. You'll get a little closer. So there's some stock inside here, and then the radio, that round part of the antenna, is screwed down into that block, and then there's obviously it's sealed with a portable sealant. So, and then this is never going to give you any trouble. It's always going to stay flexible like that, just like it will on the ladders. It'll do the same thing. So that's us. That's our Cardinal. She's all put together, looks well. And so we'll probably go over there and take care of those couple of issues there. We try to wash it down a little bit, make sure it looks clean when it rolls out of here. But we appreciate you watching. And obviously our website is rvroofingstall.com. So what we do with these brands, and the reason why we do them, a couple of reasons. One, we want people to know this is a top quality roof. You're not getting this roof system anywhere in the country. This is a system that I designed myself. But if someone sees that, I don't want anybody to come up here. If somebody wanted to sell this coach, I certainly don't want someone to try to talk you down and say, oh, these things are going to leak, I'm going to have to talk you down several $1,000s. You're going to be like, daggum, I just spent that money. And we do transferable warranties. So you can see we put it on in September of 2018, and that's why we do it that way, is again, so when people come up here, they know how old the roof is, but and we give 10 years. The first 10 years will transfer to the next owner. But now this customer comes in, we're looking at it. We know we did it September 18th, and it may be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 12 years from now. We're going to be able to see how the roof is performing. So that's why we do it. We want to know how old it is. We want to know how well it's handling. This is a great, great product. But if, in the event we ever had any issues with it, I want to be able to call my rep and say, hey, this was put down September 18th. Is there an issue with the roof? I've never, ever had to do that in all the years of doing even commercial roof. But I think it's just pretty smart to put it on there so people will know how, even when they're looking at it, wow, I can't believe this roof is 5, 6, 7 years old. You get a roof like this put on, you know, if you went to an RV center and they put a roof on, I'll tell you, probably within a couple of months, less than a year, it's going to look terrible. That EPDM rubber is just not a good product. But it's not going to be nearly as clean as this at all. And you can just maintain this with soapy water, wash it, get a garden hose and rinse it off. You can use Dow foaming bubbles. You can use one of those Swisher mops type thing. Real easy to clean, and it'll come back nice and bright and white. So this EverGuard Extreme will keep you cooler in the summer. It'll keep you warmer in the winter. It's a structured membrane, which means it has a weave in it, and that weave will help resist against hail, tree limbs, that type thing. Now, in the event a tree limb did come down and poke a hole through there, we can just do a heat patch, and we use the same material as this right here. We'll use the same thing. That's TPO. and we just put a patch on there. That's it. Easy to be done. So you don't have to say, and it won't affect your warranty, so you don't have to worry about trying to tear the whole roof off because you got, now on a rubber roof, they put patches on there, and those patches never ever hold. So they'll stay for a little bit, but it's not something that I would say would be long term. So this is our Cardinal. We appreciate you watching. There's plenty of other videos up on our YouTube channel. You can also go to our website, easier to access our YouTube channel there. And then when you get to our channel, subscribe. But also on our Facebook, you can see a lot of reviews and stuff. So, or if you have any questions, just pick up the phone, give us a call, 423-475-7663. That's 423-475-ROOF. So if you're hearing all that background noise down there, what we're doing here is we're building a new trailer, and that trailer is designed for those sliding campers that go in the back of a pickup. We've had a few come in, and the other trailer that I had in front of it, that one over there, the axles are too wide and I can't get the thing underneath there, so that one we built. We do a lot of stuff here. We do a lot of fabrication. We do obviously roof systems, we do rebuilds. If you got any questions, just give us a call. We'll be able to help you out. Thanks for watching.